It's hard to describe to anyone what it's like.
It's actually hard to describe Beechwood in a short sentence.
I can't really describe it to you.
I think
Well, it's a unique experience.
You're about to experience something you've probably never seen or heard before.
It looks different, it feels different.
I would describe it as an experience that is otherworldly, that comes from another time.
you're about to be really wowed. You're going to be impressed.
You have to come and experience it.
We just want to be there.
I remember the first time I went to a salon at Beechwood Arts, and the first thing I was struck by just was the setting, the property itself.
You can't actually drive into the driveway without being inspired.
The overall vibe of Beechwood is they're very accepting, and everyone that walks through the door, you get a hug. It's just very friendly.
We were touched by the openness and the friendliness of everybody.
But they make you feel like you and you alone are visiting that house, but it was then the intimacy.
It is the intimacy.
The intimacy.
There's a sense of community and a belonging there. It's almost like family.
It's relaxing and invigorating at the same time.
So you have this collection of really interesting people who are performers, authors, writers, all and visual artists, all in one space, exchanging thoughts and ideas with each other, and in a way that seems very casual and natural, which is what the whole Beechwood setting is all about.
There's something almost kind of self-contradictory in that idea, but I recently
There are, of course, the participating artists, but the audience is a collaborator as well. So you get this really immersive experience that is unique, I think, of any place that I've ever been.
We gathered ideas from the audience members, and the ideas were beautiful. There was such an open, warm feeling with everyone in the audience, and it was just this circle of love. After a while we were just playing, and then we performed the song, and people heard their words in the song, and the energy in the room just got higher and higher until by the time we finished, people were just roaring, and as a performer, you love that.
Think about it, my friends, if everywhere in the world, just for a moment, people would gather like this and listen to the music and be inspired.
It feels like you know that you're performing for an audience that is with you all the way. That you were a part of the layers, so that people were having an experience that had many layers to it. And for me, it felt like after about 30 minutes, I knew or had some kind of a connection to everyone there.
And you're a part of it, not just a voyeur, if you will. And it's thrilling, it's very exciting.
The general vibe of Beechwood is very collaborative, very artistic, a little bit of everything. You get to come in and see all kinds of diversity in arts.
Poetry, the performances, and bringing the community together.
My eyes had seen things that were great. My palate had tasted something that was great. I got an opportunity to participate and perform and heart to heart create a connection. So it really is a wonderful way to combine art and to exemplify the impact that art can have in a very intimate way.
Well, yeah, you could. The alternative is to go into Manhattan for a week. You go to the theater, you go to a couple of restaurants, you go to a couple of galleries, art museums, you hear a famous musician at Carnegie Hall, or you can come to Beechwood for 3 hours on a Sunday and do it all.
Beechwood brings all of that together in one nice, neat package.
One of the overwhelming feelings that I've had when I've been here has been the amazing amount of effort that it must take to put one of these things together.
The amount of moving parts is extraordinary, and the amount of detail that goes into really every moment of the experience is really extraordinary.
To hear Frederick
play live so intimately, so close up in this house. It was mind-blowing.
The inspirational thing for me was to see the Chinese poet behave and act out something like he'd been back centuries before.
Another thing that I like is I think that the whole idea of bleeding edge technology in art is very compelling for me.
The technology that Beechwood provided last time with the Erasma app was very cutting edge.
And using that to extend the reach of Beechwood Arts, so it isn't just the people who assembled in that room, in those rooms, in that space, it's people all around the world who are simultaneously taking part in what can be a very exciting and stimulating atmosphere.
To be walking around with these music stands that have got, you know, iPads on them where we're communicating with people in other parts of the world, that was quite amazing to me.
It was just this whole immersion that, you know, was just like nobody else had done that.
I think one of the things that makes Beechwood unique is Frederick and Janine. They are just two individuals you want to be with and you want to share the experience with. They're inspired and they inspire the people who attend the salons.
We came across this place completely by accident. We had been in town for 20 years, but we didn't know that a place like this even existed. And when Janine and I stepped foot on the property, we looked at each other and immediately we had the same idea that this amazing 200-year-old house could be a real inspiration for artists in town. And then we went outside and we saw a 300-year-old copper beech with huge roots that were digging deep into the ground and still extremely vibrant with new branches and new leaves. And I thought this is a perfect model for artistic creation.
We just wanted to provide this space for all kinds of creators, musicians, artists, filmmakers, performers, chefs, culinary artists, and as it turns out, designers, technologists, engineers have come as well. And we wanted to leave it to the community of people who showed up to define what it was to become. And we have been really inspired ourselves by the community that did come, of not only creators, but supporters and appreciators. They've woven a tapestry of creativity, dialogue, collaboration, and community here that is pretty special and I think really unique.
You feel freer to say what you want. There's a lot of people expressing different ideas, which is not available in other venues.
To be bold, I think that's something that's very, very unique here.
So although I might not be able to create a piece of artwork, I start really thinking outside of the box and helping others to show up and do that. And I personally think that that's what Beechwood is all about, you know, and helping people to be the best that they can be.
When I was here painting, because people were actually responding in a positive way, they saw it and thought that it was art. It made me feel like I fit in. It made me feel like I was a part of a collective group of artists.
I was a new transplant from California. So I'd come to this town which I knew nothing about, from a different coast. And I was invited to come to Beechwood Arts by somebody who'd come before. And at the end of the evening, I actually wept because I told them it felt like home. And I'm going to cry when I say it now, but it felt like a community. I felt like I'd found my people. I'd found home. I could be here because of this place.